Good morning, children. Today I welcome you all for today's class. Today we are going to learn from history, that is chapter 3, nationalism in India. Before I start this lesson, I would like to tell you from history you have two lessons for your exam today for this year. That is, one is lesson 1, the rise of nationalism in Europe, and lesson 3, nationalism in India. These are the two chapters which is going to come for your exam this year. So these both chapters you need to learn thoroughly. 10 marks from this chapter, 10 marks from lesson 1, the rise of nationalism in Europe. So every sentence of this lesson is very important, then only you will be able to attempt the objective type questions which are going to come. So learn this lesson very carefully. So let us begin. First, the topic that they have given for you is the First World War, Khilafat and non-cooperation. These are the topics we need to learn in the first topic. Before we learn the first topic, I would like to explain to you what is the meaning of nationalism. Now, when you refer this word in the dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, you will get the meaning. It is a strong desire for independence by a nation which is ruled by other nation. This is what the Oxford Dictionary gives meaning for nationalism. Now, when we study nationalism in India, we get that the nationalism feeling is fully connected with the anti-colonial feeling. Why we are saying about anti-colonial feeling? Because the Britishers were ruling us. So there came a time that Indians realized that they should get independence. So when we speak about nationalism in India, it is fully connected with the anti-colonial feeling. And in your book, in the introduction, they have given different meaning for this nationalism. That means the rise of nationalism in Europe, what nationalism meant for the Europeans. For the Europeans, it was not anti-national feeling. For them, it was formation of nation states. So it meant different for them, and it is meaning different for us. For us, we should know what is nationalism in India. It is closely or fully connected with the anti-colonial feeling and a desire for independence by our Indians from the Britishers. So we come to the first topic, the First World War, Khilafat and non-cooperation. We are not going to learn in detail the First World War. What we are going to learn is, it was the time when the nationalism feeling started in India, when the World War came to an end. That is, World War first took place in 1914 and it went on for 4 years. In 1918 it ended. Now 1919, 1920, what we are studying in this lesson, the nationalism feeling in India. So what was the effect of this World War on India? Now when we speak about the effect of First World War on India, now the world fighting for the World War. Now Britishers are directly involved in this First World War. So what was their need? Their need was defense expenditure, because they are army men fighting in the World War. They wanted to have a good defense force. Now when they wanted to have good defense force, what did they do? They who were in India, they started to introduce taxes in India. Why they wanted to introduce taxes in India? Because they were in need of more money to have spend on defense expenditure. So huge increase of defense expenditure made them to introduce taxes in India. So as a result, what happened? Custom duties were raised in India. And second things, income tax was introduced. There are two things when we learn the word taxes we should remember. What are these two things? First one is custom duties were raised. They were collecting custom duties, but at this time they increased the custom duties. And second one is income taxes were introduced. Whatever income you are getting, you have to pay the taxes to the British government which was ruling India. So that is first one. Now the people were not happy to pay high taxes to the Britishers because of the prevailing situation in India. And second one is price increase. Because of the war between 1914 to 1918, the prices of commodity were increased. This also another ways of collecting the money for the defense expenditure of Britishers. So when price was increased, this also brought very hardship for the people in India, extreme hardship, because they didn't have enough money to pay the Britishers. Therefore people felt very difficult. And now two things, one is taxes, that is custom duties were raised. Second one is income tax was introduced, and over that commodity prices were increased. This also brought so much hardship in the lives of the Indian people. And third one is forced recruitment. Now when we speak about forced recruitment, the villages were asked to supply the soldiers for fighting, and the villagers were not happy and they were very angry with the Britishers because they were forced to join the army in those days to fight the war. And fourth one is influenza epidemic. When we speak about epidemic, you can very well understand. Today also we are in the very harsh situation of COVID-19. The same thing we can say in those years. They had an epidemic, and it is learned that around 30 million people were died during that epidemic. So when we say epidemic, it is a harsh situations. And during this time, what is the Britishers do? The Britishers introduced all these, that is taxes, price increase, forced recruitment, and influenza epidemic. All these brought the lives of the Indians very hard. People were not able to meet with all these demands of the Britishers, and they were in very situation which led them to revolt against the Britishers. So during this time, what we learned, during this time the Mahatma Gandhi is coming to India, that is in 1919 Mahatma Gandhi came back to India, and he learned the situations that is prevailing, and as a result we learned the second point, that is idea of Satyagraha. Now idea of Satyagraha, what is this idea of Satyagraha? First one is, we should know, it is a novel method of agitation. Who started this? Mahatma Gandhi started, and we know Mahatma Gandhi came back from Africa. He already practiced this Satyagraha movement there against racism, and he did experience success. So when he came to India, he realized the importance of Satyagraha in India too. So he started this novel method of agitation based on truth. Now one sentence you should remember, that is, what is Satyagraha? If they ask you, you should be able to write, that is novel method of agitation based on truth. So now what Mahatma Gandhi convinced? Mahatma Gandhi was convinced we are fighting for truth. What is the truth? The truth is India belongs to Indians. The Britishers are foreigners. They should return back to their country. Now when this is the truth, Mahatma Gandhi was very strong, and he convinced the people that we should fight for independence without non-violence, because we are fighting for the truth. And he wanted that this fight or this novel method of agitation, mass agitation, should appeal the conscience of the oppressor. Oppressor, who is the oppressor? It is the Britishers who are ruling over India, and Mahatma Gandhi wanted to open their mind to see the reality, to see the truth. What they had to see the truth? That India belongs to the Indians and the Britishers should leave the India. Therefore, they had to leave the country. So Mahatma Gandhi started the Satyagraha in India. So now what did he do? He returned back to India in 1915 and he started the Satyagraha movement in 3 different places. In 1916 in Bihar, the place called Champaran. In 1917, that is Kheda district of Gujarat. In 1918 in Ahmedabad, again it is in Gujarat. Now this is what the Satyagraha means for Mahatma Gandhi. He went to Bihar, Champaran place and the peasants there. What was the problem of peasants there? The peasants in Champaran were forced to grow indigo. Now when they were forced to grow indigo, they had no other possibilities of growing the food crops. They were experiencing extreme poverty. So Mahatma Gandhi went there and started the Satyagraha movement against the Britishers and supported the peasants at Champaran, that is in Bihar. And the very next year, that is 1917, Kheda district of Gujarat, there also the peasants were finding very difficult to pay the taxes because of the crop failure. So Mahatma Gandhi went there and with the peasants started the movement Satyagraha against the Britishers and told that they should give some relaxation of paying the taxes. And third one is in 1918 Ahmedabad, he went to Ahmedabad. There also he supported the cotton mill workers. They were also finding life very hard and they were also not able to pay the taxes to the Britishers. So the very next year Mahatma Gandhi arrived in India, that is 1916, 1917, 1918. He studied the situations of India and he started the movement, that is 3 different places. Now the idea of Satyagraha, we should know under this topic, you should know these 4 things. What is Satyagraha and where the Satyagraha movement first Mahatma Gandhi started. Okay, next one is, that is Rowlatt Act. Now what is this Rowlatt Act? The Britishers are observing what the situations of India. When they were observing the situations of India under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, all that is taking place, they started to introduce an act that is called Rowlatt Act. Now this was introduced on 10th March 1919. Now what is this Rowlatt Act? It was an act introduced in the Imperial Court of Legislative Council of the Britishers. Imperial Legislative Council of the Britishers. Though the Indians were opposing this, okay, those Indians who were present there, they opposed it, not to introduce this act, that is Rowlatt Act. But the Britishers did not listen and they introduced this act. Now what is this Rowlatt Act? This Rowlatt Act is, according to this act, they will have the power to detain political prisoners without trial for 2 years. Okay, detention of political prisoners without trial for 2 years. They will not find out whether the person has done is wrong or right or the person is innocent. They will not do any trial. They will catch the person and they will imprison the person for 2 years without any trial. For 2 years you have to remain inside, only after 2 years you can come out. That is what Rowlatt Act. Okay, Rowlatt Act passed or introduced 10th March 1919. You should know what is this Rowlatt Act, introduced by the Britishers for detaining the political prisoners without trial for 2 years. Okay, now this is introduced by the Britishers. Now Mahatma Gandhi saw this one. So what did he do? Without non-violent, without any fighting, he wanted to react to the unjust laws, because it is an unjust law, because without trial you are putting for 2 years inside, it is not correct. Therefore Mahatma Gandhi wanted to protest against this Rowlatt Act. So he conscienced the people of Indians to protest against this. So as a result, there were people were called to boycott the British officers or the work that they were doing, and these people went on strike against the Britishers. Now Britishers saw the Indians were very much agitating, they could not control the Indians. As a result, they feared they will harm their communication system or the railway system. They started to punish the Indians. They wanted to suppress this movement that agitated against the Britishers under the leadership of the Mahatma Gandhi. Now when this was going on, Rowlatt Act passed, Indians are protesting, and what did the Britishers do? They wanted to suppress the Indians. As a result, they did introduce, that is, martial law. Now martial law is a law which the government introduces and the army takes up the command of the nation or the country or the people. So now the martial law was introduced. Now when the martial law was introduced, what happened? People are not supposed to gather in any place. Now on 13th April 1919, the place called Jallianwala Bagh, what people do? People gathered there in Punjab. People gathered in this place. They gathered in this place for 2 reasons. One is to protest against the Rowlatt Act, and second one is for the festival of Baisakhi. Now these are the 2 reasons why the people gathered at Jallianwala Bagh. Now what happened? General, who was that time the ruler of India, what did he do? He went to the place, that is Jallianwala Bagh, and close to the exit and started to fire at the people who were gathered here. Now people who were gathered here, they were not aware of the martial law which was introduced those days. So General Dyer opened the fire. As a result, so many people were killed, and it created more anger in the side of the Indians. Now as a result of Jallianwala Bagh incident, what did the Indians do? The Indians started to protest. Indians started to attack the officers of the Britishers. Now when this took place, there was violence in the provinces of Punjab. Then Mahatma Gandhi realized that the people need to be taught again about the non-violence. So immediately he called off the Satyagraha movement which he started after the Jallianwala Bagh incident. Now when Jallianwala Bagh incident was over, we are learning about the Khilafat issue. Now what is this Khilafat issue? We have second one here, it is, that is Khilafat, then non-cooperation. When we speak about Khilafat issue, we just need to know the background of the First World War which took place. In the First World War, there are 2 groups who are fighting. One is we know, that is Allies, and another one is Central Powers. Now Allies, that is Britain, France, Russia, and later America joined them, and Central Powers we know, that is Germany and the Ottoman Empire. All these they were fighting. Now when the First World War was over, the Ottoman Empire was defeated. When the Ottoman Empire was defeated, what did the Allies do? Allies wanted to punish the Ottoman Empire. When they wanted to punish the Ottoman Empire, now the head of the Ottoman Empire, that is the Muslim head we can say, So he was supposed to be removed from the post. Now when this punishment was given to the Ottoman Empire, the Muslims all over the world reacted to it. Therefore we called that is Khilafat movement. Now this movement started in India also. Why this Khilafat movement started in India? Because of supporting the Ottoman Empire in the central power, that is central power which was fighting in the World War first. So when people wanted to react for Khilafat, that is the post of the Khalifa which is going to be removed by the allies, the Muslims came together and they discussed with Mahatma Gandhi. When they discussed with the Mahatma Gandhi used this opportunity as to unite both Hindu and Muslims in India. When they are united, then they can fight against the Britishers. So Mahatma Gandhi was very happy to support the Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement, we know the background, that is only to support the Muslims all over the world, especially the Muslim head Khalifa, which has to be retained because the allies was punishing them and they have no more power in the Ottoman Empire. Therefore the Khilafat issue was taken up by Mahatma Gandhi, and as a result the non-cooperation movement was introduced. Joining the Khilafat issue, the non-cooperation movement was introduced. Now where did they come together and discuss? That is Congress session September 1920. There was a session 1920. There Mahatma Gandhi decided that he will support the Khilafat issue with the non-cooperation movement. Now what is non-cooperation movement? With the word only we can understand what is this non-cooperation movement. Cooperation, you support or you cooperate with someone, and when you speak about non-cooperation, you stop your cooperation. So what is the conviction of Mahatma Gandhi? Mahatma Gandhi convinced that the Britishers are ruling India, or they have established their power in India only with the cooperation of Indians. So now Mahatma Gandhi is calling out, telling non-cooperation. If you stop your cooperation with the Britishers cannot rule over India. Their power will come to an end. That is what Mahatma Gandhi was convinced, and he called out the people for non-cooperation. And he has written a book, that is Hindu Swaraj, in 1909. In this book he has explained very clearly about this non-cooperation. The realization of Mahatma Gandhi that the Britishers are ruling over India only with the support of the Indians. If the Indians stop all their support to the Britishers, then automatically British power will come to an end and Indian will experience the independence. So for this non-cooperation movement, what did Mahatma Gandhi suggest? Mahatma Gandhi suggested, there are two things suggested. He called out to the people to surrender the title which was honored by the Britishers. There were many Indians who were closely working with the Britishers in their offices, in their workplaces. So what did Mahatma Gandhi told? Mahatma Gandhi called out all these Indians to surrender all the titles that were given by the Britishers. And second thing, what did he do? He told to boycott. He told to boycott all the civil servicemen, policemen, schools, colleges, whatever the Indians are cooperating with the Britishers, he asked them to boycott. These are the two things which he suggested. And when you surrender your title and when you boycott, then automatically the work of the Britishers will come to standstill and they will not able to continue their power over India. These are the two things. Now in this topic, now what happened? The Khilafat issue, there were two Muslim committee was formed and the two young leaders, that is Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali. These are the two people who were came and discussed with Mahatma Gandhi about the Khilafat movement. Now what did Mahatma Gandhi, after realizing this non-cooperation, they went around India studying the situations with Shaukat Ali and Mahatma Gandhi. Both of them went around studying the situations of India and how the non-cooperation movement can be introduced with the help of the people. So they went around, and at the Congress session at Nagpur 1920, they came to one conclusion that they can start the non-cooperation movement, because within the Congress there was always conflict. They were not ready for the non-cooperation movement. Why they were not ready for the non-cooperation movement within the Congress? Because some of them wanted to participate in the council election that was taking place in 1920. Therefore, some supported and some did not support. But then Mahatma Gandhi tried to convince all the congressmen to support this non-cooperation movement, and the conclusion was taken at Congress session Nagpur 1920. Here they concluded that all will join the Mahatma Gandhi and they will start the non-cooperation movement. Now how the non-cooperation movement was introduced, how it was practiced by the people, we will study in the next topic. For today, this many points you should be clear. That is, first one is the effect of World War I. You should know taxes were introduced, price was increased, forced recruitment, influence epidemic. All these brought hardship in the minds of the Indians, and they were not happy and they wanted to protest against the Britishers. During this time, 1915, 1914, 1918, what happened? During this time, this all took place. So Mahatma Gandhi returned to India during this time in 1915. Now, after coming, he started the Satyagraha movement. Then you should know what is Satyagraha. It is a novel method of agitation based on truth. If it is truth, then Mahatma Gandhi suggested no violence. Without violence, we should achieve the truth. That is dharma, non-violence. And he was convinced that he will win whatever this. So he went around 1916, 1917 and 1918. 3 Satyagraha movement took place in different places, supporting the peasants and the cotton mill workers. And the Britishers introduced Rowlatt Act in 1919, and according to this Rowlatt Act, the political prisoners were detained without trial for 2 years. As a result, there was Jallianwala Bagh incident, and here the General Dyer opened the fire on the people who had gathered here. They had gathered for 2 reasons. One is for protesting against the Rowlatt Act. Second one is for celebrating the festival. And Khilafat issue is closely connected with the Central Powers allies in Europe. And the Muslims in India wanted to react to that. And Mahatma Gandhi supported this issue, only unite the Muslims, Hindus together, and as a result, he could introduce the non-cooperation. The non-cooperation movement was started in support of the Khilafat issue, and it was decided in the Congress session September 1920 that they will support the Khilafat issue. And in his book Hindu Swaraj 1909, he has revealed some of the realities. That is, if Indians don't support the Britishers, then British power will come to an end in India. As a result, we can experience independence, and he called out the Indians to surrender the title as well as boycott the officers, all those things. And Saugat Ali and Mahatma Gandhi during this time went around the Indians to study the minds of the Indians, how the non-cooperation movement can be introduced. And as a result, in the Congress session at Nagpur 1920, it was introduced, and it was a little hard time for Mahatma Gandhi. In the Congress session at Nagpur 1920, it was decided that the non-cooperation movement will be introduced, and how it took different forms we will study in our next class. Okay student, now I would ask you read this topic in your book, each line, because objective type questions will be coming from here, and you will be able to answer the objective type questions as well as you will be able to write the answers on this topic. Thank you students.